Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It's a Monday morning, day after Father's Day edition of the Clay Edwards Show. I'm live here in the WYAB studios. Guys, do your boy a solid. Run over to my website and grab yourself a shirt, a cap, a tank top. The flags are back in stock. These are the big FAFO G.I. Joe style logo flags, caps, shirts, and tank tops. Get yours today. Help support your brother. Help fight what we do so we can continue fighting the good fight, as Jameson Haygood calls it. If you guys want to call in this morning, we got worked up. Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. Be sure to get out of Mazda of Jackson today and check out the all-new CX-9. It is one of the best-looking crossover. It's like a mid to full-size crossover SUV. Gorgeous vehicle. You will not be disappointed. Go test drive one today. Don't cost you nothing to go test drive. Go see Grady. Go see Richard. Go see the Carr family over there. Locally owned, locally operated. Every purchase is going to come with a lifetime powertrain warranty as well as a 43-inch flat screen TV. You can't beat that. There's usually some type of APR specials, rebates, and more available. They change every month. Check out MazdaJackson.com to see what the specials this month are. Or better yet, just swing by, see them in person. Interstate 55 on the southbound side, right there at Briarwood. You know where it is. Right next to the Cowboy Maloney's Electric City. Been there for 100 years. Mazda of Jackson. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. Let's jump in this morning, shall we? Hope everybody's doing good. Had a good weekend. Had a good Father's Day. I got to spend it with my family. That's always good. Got to see my dad. We me, my sister, and my mom went in and got him a new TV. He's excited about that. See, what had happened was I raised the price of tea in China a couple years ago when I got me a 75-inch TV. Thankfully, they've gotten affordable. And he saw it, and he had TV envy. And he has not stopped about wanting a 75-inch TV. Well, he finally got one. I tell you what, this is completely unrelated here. I mean, there's no sponsor plug or nothing like that. If you're buying anything other than a TCL, it's like the Roku, Amazon house brand, I think you're paying too much money. Knock on wood, I've had mine 2 years, no problems. And heck, they've gone down a couple $100 since I bought mine. I paid $1,000 for my 75-inch, and that was shipped to my door by Amazon a couple years ago. And again, knock on wood, no problems out of it. And I think now they've gotten down around $800 for a 75-inch. So I don't know, just food for thought. I've been very happy with mine. I guess if you put a $5,000 Sony or something up beside it, maybe you could tell the difference in picture. But for just watching Tim Pool and Joe Rogan and YouTube videos and very little real TV like I do nowadays, it works just fine. And it kind of got that movie theater vibe. We did watch, and I'm going to get into all the news here in a second. We stumbled across a documentary. Me and the girlfriend Saturday night just stayed home after a long Friday night. We had a good time. Shout out to everybody we saw. And it's on Netflix. It's called American Nightmare. It's only 3 episodes long. It's a pretty easy watch. You can do the whole thing in one evening without even having to stay up too late, depending on what time you watch. If you start by 7, you're done by, 11-ish. I mean, I think there's 3 episodes an hour each, give or take. Insane. I don't want to give, if I tell y'all what it's about, it'll give it away. Or if I tell you anything past, it's about a man that kidnaps women, rapes them, and then peacefully returns them. Or is it all made up in the women's heads and they're crazy? It is wild. Absolutely wild. One of the craziest documentaries I've ever watched. was not expecting how it ended. And, of course, it's a true story. It's a documentary. Normally, I'll come in here and give spoilers. But I think this one's good enough that y'all need to watch it. It's called American Nightmare. It's on Netflix. If you like true crime, mystery stuff, it's going to be right in your wheelhouse. Let's see here, man. Speaking of the Guns and Gear text, we got a text early this morning. Don't know if it's on topic or not. Let's see what we got here. It says, hey, good morning. I know this may be off topic, but whatever happened with the older lady that was carjacked and kidnapped at the Pearl grocery store? I'm guessing they never found a suspect. I mean, she's okay. But, I would go out on a limb here and guess that parking lot is more secure today than it was 2-3 weeks ago. Sad situation. Been saying it for a while. They're going to run out of things to rob, rape, steal, kill, and pillage in Jackson. And they're going to start getting braver and coming over that river. That's exactly what's happening. See, and then what ends up happening is when Pearl Police and Flowood Police and Rankin County, do their job and we'll call it, for a lack of a better word, profile the bad guys, everybody gets sand in there between their legs. Oh, my God. You profiled. Well, yeah, we also kept it safe. I have no problem with profiling. If there's a particular group of people who go above and beyond to look like the most dangerous thugs on earth and portray a certain image, and then they want to pretend to be that image, and they want to run around, yeah, I think you're perfectly okay to profile them. Just like back in the 30s and 40s, they would have profiled gangsters with their suits and all that stuff. There's just a certain way that criminals like to dress and telegraph an image. And if that's how they want to do that, then, well, that's fine. But it better not be riding dirty is all I'm saying. I'm all for profiling. Y'all been profiling us straight conservative males for a minute now. Homophobes, bigots, racist, insurrectionist. Y'all been profiling me for a minute. I ain't got no problem profiling you rainbow supremacist thugs, BLM crooks. No problem at all. You destroyed this country and then had the audacity to point the finger at other people. I was actually going to start the show going a different direction, but you know what? Thanks for that text. You know what I'm tired of? What's Peter Griffin say? It really grinds my gears. All these MAGA-COME LATELY folks. Look, I understand what Trump's doing. I get it. And I guess it's better to have them on your team than against you. We're going to need everybody. But I just think you should keep your mouth shut. Walk up in that booth. Pull that red lever. And go on about your business. For the last, let's say, 8 years, since 2015, since Trump came and Melania came down that golden escalator at Trump Tower and announced that he was running for president, that very first day, I had a coworker tell me, if you vote for him, you're a racist. I said, well, I'll be a huckleberry. And I had been getting stabbed in the front, in the back, lost friends, lost jobs, lost promotions, lost sponsors, lost potential sponsors. Been all right. There's been plenty of other good ones that have stepped up, by the way. Thank y'all. People who appreciate the First Amendment and want to see America be made great again. People who want to see Jackson actually saved. Not a bunch of criminals pandered to and told that it's going to be okay. It's not your fault you're a thug. There's still a bunch of good folks out there. You know what it helped me do is help me weed out the fake ones in life and in business. But, a lot of us actually lost a lot supporting Trump. Look at Alex Jones. I know, ha 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 ha, Alex Jones, InfoWars, Sandy Hook. Oh, Alex Jones told a lie. Alex Jones told a lot of truths, too. Talking about, we're going to start holding media accountable for telling lies. There won't be no media left in this country outside of WYAB. So we got all these MAGA-COME lately folks. You know, I remember it used to have to fight, be able to fight, or not be afraid to shoot if you wore a MAGA hat in public in Jackson. So now it's trendy. Now I see rappers and a bunch of black folks on Instagram popping with their red hats on. And look, I'm glad to see it. I guess, but my big question is more this than anything is, we told y'all. You could have had our backs in 2020 if we're going to pretend the election wasn't stolen. You could have had our backs in 2020 and have avoided all this. The same people ran around screaming, Trump's a racist. Meanwhile, the whole time it was Joe Biden. If you ain't if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. It's Joe Biden with the crime bill of 94 that locked up so many of your daddies and grandfathers and uncles. Some of y'all. Not Trump. But somehow, because you're just scared of a strong, independent man that don't need no Democrats. Man that just drips testosterone, a true leader. You never really had one of those in your life. So the first thing you think of when you see that is, oh, he must be a racist. So now, after 4 years of seeing what a Joe Biden administration brings to America, you're like, you know what? Trump wasn't so bad. Well, we tried to tell y'all. But I'll just never forget, after 2020, running in the streets, talking about, we did it. Old Beetlejuice up there in Chicago. We did it. We got the foot off our necks. Now you really got a foot on your neck. Joe Biden is like a proverbial Derek Chauvin with a knee on the back of a neck of all America. But I guess, hey, whatever. Welcome to MAGA. Better late than never, I reckon. I know I'm kind of in the wrong on this. I'm just salty. I know I should just be like, heck yeah, man, welcome to the party. We're a Big Ten over here. But I'm salty. Because this all could have been avoided if you idiots had just listened to begin with. But here we are. Welcome to MAGA. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. Guys, man, Pure Air Consultants, if it was ever time to get your air conditioning checked, I know this isn't home related, but I've noticed that my air in my car over the last couple of days has got increasingly less cold. And I will be making a trip over to A1 Gear and Auto for that here shortly. But let's talk about the air conditioner in your homes. Pure Air Consultants. Ever wonder why your AC has stopped working? As a matter of fact, I have. The common reasons for this issue include issues like a flip switch, a dirty condenser, an improperly sized unit, an old unit, and a malfunctioning thermostat. For over 40 years, Pure Air Consultants has been delivering exceptional cooling systems to Central Mississippi, and they want to offer you a rare gift. How about a free labor warranty for 5 years? That's right. New construction builds, thermostat installation, and more. Financing is also available with Pure Air Consultants. Pure Air Consultants also specializes in air duct cleaning, air duct sealing, and dry vent cleaning to make sure the air you breathe is as clean and fresh as possible. Check them out online today, mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com. Ream, a new degree of comfort. We got a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Not sure who we got. Let's see. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Good morning, Clay. I'd like to kind of get the record straight on this George Floyd mystery. Derek Chauvin did not kill George Floyd. George Floyd died of a massive overdose of fentanyl that he ingested to keep from getting caught with it when he was arrested.
Oh, yeah.
It came
100%.
out in an autopsy that they did after the trial and convicted Chauvin of murder. The guy ought to be let out of jail. His record ought to be expunged, and he ought to be reinstated in his job if he wants it, and he ought to be compensated for all the pain and suffering he's gone through. I don't have any sympathy at all for George Floyd.
No.
Hope you have a good day, buddy.
Agree with you 100%.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye.
Yep. Yeah, for the record, I used Derek Chauvin for an analogy in that last segment there. I 100% believe Derek Chauvin to be innocent. George Floyd killed himself. I'm not going to keep playing this game the Democrats play called "Don't Believe Your Lying Eyes." Don't believe what the autopsy report said. He's a white guy that had his foot on the back of a black guy's throat. He's the murderer. End of discussion. Never mind all the video that led up to that led to George Floyd basically breaking out of the car, having a panic attack, freaking out. Never mind all that. All we're supposed to pay attention to is that he was being subdued by Chauvin. Now, if I'm being realistic, maybe the fear of that whole situation, I'm just going to tell you, I've done speed before. If you listen to this show long enough, we've talked about my history with drugs. I've done drugs before. I can tell you through personal experience that if you're in the process of dealing with the police or a physical altercation of any kind, man, it makes your adrenaline and your heart rate get up so high, you'll think it's going to explode. And that's what happened to George Floyd. Now, it may have been brought on by this confrontation or exasperated by it. But Derek Chauvin did not kill George Floyd. George Floyd killed George Floyd. Let's take a call. Hey, you're on there.
What's going on this morning, Clay?
Chris, what's up, brother?
Oh, man, just enjoying this 55 stack traffic.
Oh, good times. Dope rhymes.
Good time. Hey, talking about that line stuff, you know, I watch Morning Joe and stuff like that just to get my adrenaline going in the morning. And last week, Trump said something bad about Milwaukee. Well, anyway, Joe Mika has got them big tall boys of Milwaukee's best ice. And you could tell when she first took a sip, she about regurgitated and then going to talk about how good it is, how good this beer. And I'm thinking, anybody who's ever drank beer knows that's some of the nastiest beer. That's like one of them malt liquor bulls.
Which one was it? Milwaukee's best?
Milwaukee's best.
The Beast.
Ice.
The Beast. Ice. Oh, God, no. You know, man, yeah. I remember when they came out with all those ice versions of beer back in the day, like Bud Dry Ice, something Miller Ice.
Yes.
You know, I did like the red Miller can. I've got a collection. Believe it or not, I've got a Bud Dry Ice tap handle.
Really?
Am I saying, is it Bud Dry Ice or was it Bud Ice and Bud Dry? I have a Bud Dry tap handle. I don't know if there's ice on the end of it, but I remember Bud Ice and all that too.
Well, talking about that, we went to Gatlinburg way back, and I had never seen the Bush Ice, which I did not realize the ice had stronger alcohol content.
Well, it depends on what part of the country.
I was a Busch Light drinker at the time. I was like, them being in a different state, yeah, I was like, woo.
Yeah, I remember when they came out with that.
Beast.
I remember when they came out with that Miller Red and it was 5% alcohol by volume. Boy, we thought we was on to something.
About that.
We thought we didn't hit jackpot, son.
And the Red Dog, you remember the Red Dog?
Do I? Do I? Man, look, it was a rite of passage at 14, 15, 16 years old to be drinking Mad Dog 2020. Trust me, if I drink Mad Dog, I drink Red Dog.
Yeah, okay. I never got off on the Mad Dog. I didn't. I got on the night train.
Good stuff, brother. We did. There used to be this store on the corner, Ellis and Raymond Road, right there. Old man Byron was his name that worked there. And man, you could walk in there. If you could walk in there, you could walk out of there with beer. And I just remember.
I remember them stores. Yes, sir.
It's right there next to Dairy Queen on where Dairy Queen was on Raymond Road there, and kind of across from Sack and Save. And we'd go in there, and I remember being 15 years old, walking out of there with a 64-ounce Old English. And you don't know no better. you don't know the difference in good beer and pea beer at 15 years old. Just like, that's just a lot of beer, and I want to be the guy with a lot of beer. And
well, it wasn't about quality; it was about quantity. How much money? What's on sale?
Man, I tell you, if I could learn any lesson in life again, the lesson is it's about quality, not quantity. But
That's right.
It takes some experience to get to there.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Like I said, that's how I got on the beach when it first came out. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't give it away. Oh man, you can have it.
Man,
I don't want this junk.
I lived down in McGee for one summer and worked on a chicken farm. I was hiding out from JPD, and worked down. Me and a buddy of mine moved down there, worked on a chicken farm, and at 21 years old or 20 years old, however old I was, if I was 21, I had a fake ID. But we were down there, and you could get a case of, at 20 you don't really care, right? You could get a case of Beast for $8.99.
Right.
Like,
Schaefer's was another one of those cheap beers.
I remember by the time I moved back to Jackson at the end of that summer, I never drank anything less than a Bud Light again. I was like, I was there. That was I had all the Beast and Best and all the other Natty Lights, and I had all that I could handle. By the time I got back to civilization, it was like, I'm good. I don't want any more cheap beer.
And I'll be around friends sometimes. They'll offer me beer because I don't do none of them. I'm a Blue Moon man, but I'm like, I'm good, dude. Oh, you want? No, I'm good. I don't want that in my mouth.
Yeah.
Horrible.
If I go to,
I just think, you're talking about how they lie and everything. I'm sitting there watching them, knowing dang well they lying about this being the best beer they've ever tasted. Like, oh my God, really?
They are so full. And somehow to call Milwaukee a hellhole and to make it about the beer there, it's not the same thing. It's like when he called Detroit a hellhole or an S-hole or something like that, and then he was there over the weekend. It is look, I love Jackson, Mississippi, but me and Sean had this conversation, had a private conversation that day on the phone. We were talking about this very topic. I love Jackson, but it is a third world Democrat hellhole. But that don't mean.
I was going to the shop this morning on Frontage Road and 55 right there before you get to the bar. I'm on Frontage Road, and somebody done went and dumped couches and limbs out right there in the road.
Yeah, it's a bunch of trashy people live there, a bunch of hood rats and trashy people that don't pick up after themselves. I mean, let's not forget just a few months ago that a bunch of folks from Rankin and Madison County decided to clean up 55, pressure wash the guardrails, clean up all the litter, cut the exits, pressure wash them. Shout out to Sean Shoemaker and that whole Casey Bridges and that whole crew. And I know there's some other guys whose names I'm not thinking, and I really kind of ignored it when they were doing it, not to insult them, but because I was pissed off, excuse my language, that people were coming to clean up Jackson's mess. Let Jackson clean its mess up. Anyway,
well, quite a lot of people drive through there daily and got tired of looking at it. It's coming over here.
Chris, it's another one of those times where I know I'm wrong, but I'm just so frustrated and fed up with these people that I'm like, let it rot. Because they just call you a racist when you try to do it. And then
that's right.
And then what are they going to? Because here's what's going to happen. They did it once. Are they going to make that a full-time job? Because I can assure you, it didn't motivate anybody from Jackson to follow up and keep it clean.
No, they won't. All right, Clay, I'm going to jump off here, brother. Be safe. I need to call you and talk to you about my transgender what I run into the other day, but I'll talk to you later.
Hey, let's meet up at Burgers Blues Barbecue in downtown Brandon there soon, man, and drink a couple Blue Moons. They got it on tap.
All right, brother, we sure will. Looking forward to it.
It's on me, brother. Let's do it.
All right. Bye. All right.
Let's take a break. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. What's your favorite cheap beer growing up? What'd you drink growing up? Allegedly, when you were too young to drink, what was your go-to that you would never drink again? Mine is definitely Mad Dog and any kind of malt liquor. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by Mercy House Teen Challenge, Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge Auto Center. Down there in Crystal Springs, Mississippi, you can check them out online at mercyhouseautocenter.com. If you're looking for a vehicle, $10,000 to $20,000 price range, they got you covered. Get down there. They got financing options available for everybody. Good credit, bad credit, no credit, no problem. But look, this ain't part of the ad read. This is just my 12 years in the car business, and just having a little common sense. I like to pass it along. It's kind of, buying a car is a lot like dating. Some people like bigger folks because they got a good personality and they can overlook the weight thing. Some people like really attractive women that might be a witch with another letter in front of it because they say, you know what, she's hot. It's worth it. She's crazy as hell. But man, she's hot. It's worth it. But one thing I've learned is you can't be big or ugly, and have a bad personality. You got to have some redeeming quality about you. Buying a car is the same way. You got to, if you don't have good credit, it's kind of like being unattractive or overweight. You're also going to have some money down. The money down is the good personality in this analogy. I love this. Anyway, all I'm saying is if you got bad credit, have some cash down. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Have good credit. Man, I tell you what, you getting mine rebuilt, coming out of divorce and all that, man, it has sucked. It's been terrible. But, getting there, a couple little small credit cards, goes a long way to paying them on time, keeping them under 30%. I'll get back to Mercy House here in just a second. If anybody knows somebody who does, I don't mean like one of these bogus credit repair people. Like somebody who's really knowledgeable about credit. But I would like to have them on the show one day to just talk to people about best practices to build or rebuild credit. Now, I know a ton of it. I could probably just sit here and tell you all, but I feel like it hits a little different if we have a professional that does it for a living sitting across from me. I'll give them an hour's worth of free airtime to promote whatever it is they do. If anybody knows someone that would be interested in coming on, tell them to shoot me an email, clay@wyab.com. clay@wyab.com. I'd like to have them on the show and help educate some people on building credit, helping their kids build credit, and helping them keep their credit up. Like I said, I'm just now at 46 years old learning the mathematical formula to maximizing using credit cards to build credit, not debt. So, anyway, Mercy House Auto Center, they got you covered. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. But if you got bad credit, I implore you to try to have some money down. It's going to make your life a lot easier. But here's what they really need your help with. Selling cars ain't that big of a problem. Finding cars is a problem. If you got a vehicle you want to donate, Mercy House Auto Center is who you need to donate it to. You get the tax write-off, running or not. As long as you got a title, they'll come get it out your driveway for you and make the headache go away. And boom, you got a tax write-off for the amount they sold it for at the end of the year. So 1099 folks, business owners, man, that could save you a lot of money that you're not having to scratch Uncle Sam there at the end of the year. Check them out online, mercyhouseautocenter.com. Didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole there, but that's what we do on this show. This show's nickname could be Rabbit Hole. Oh, let's see here. Let's shift gears for a minute. So, the presidential debates are coming up here in a couple weeks. What is that, the 28th, 29th, something like that anyway. MSNBC host Alex Wagner openly worries that the debate is going to be unfair to Joe Biden because their expectations for him are so high. Quote, the bar for Biden is so much higher. Trump's bar is literally, he is alive, he is standing, or the words coming out. Is it opposite day? This goes back to what I say about don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes. If we started holding the media accountable for their lies, we wouldn't have any media left. Let's play this. This is from MSNBC.
I do have to ask, though, I mean, this is all thrown into sharp relief when the two men are on stage debating, right? And it already feels like, the first presidential debate is set for June 27th. It already feels like the bar that is set for Biden to clear is so much substantially higher than the one Trump has to clear, which is literally, is he alive? Is he standing? Are the words coming out of his mouth? Setting aside what the words actually are. And I wonder if there's any way for Biden to overcome what seems like a structural disadvantage on, in the weeks leading up to what's going to be a pretty important inflection point in this campaign.
Yeah, Alex, I think that's an important question. We don't know the answer yet. The challenge with Trump, running against Trump for Biden, is that it's not really a head-to-head contest in which they're both being judged by the same terms.
I do have to ask, though, I mean, this is all thrown into sharp relief.
All right. So, again, what's up is down. What's down is up. My goodness. Guys, I don't even think they're sending out the real Joe Biden. I'm jumping straight into the conspiracy theory. MSNBC did an interview, and you can go find this if y'all haven't seen it. Let me make sure I'm telling you the right name of this, because I've got the link. Salty Cracker did a great video on this. Give me 2 seconds. Here it is. CNBC. If you're on Rumble, or if you want me to send you the link, I'll send you the Salty Cracker link. CNBC's done an interview with a fake Joe Biden. And the evidence is overwhelming. I would play it, but Salty Cracker cusses a lot, so I can't ever play his stuff on the radio. There's no way this ain't of Joe Biden with a mask. And people are, that's just a shadow. No. I deal with lighting every day. Much less professional studio lighting. That ain't no shadow, bro. Also, Joe Biden don't talk like that. Joe Biden ain't able to sit down and carry on an actual conversation. Ain't no way. But if anybody wants to see that link, you can go to Rumble and just type in CNBC has interview with fake Joe Biden, or I can send you the link. It don't matter. And check it out. And look, I try not to be super conspiratorial, like on everything. Like, I try not to believe everything. I really do. It's hard. I mean, I believe in aliens, an ancient alien theory. We killed Kennedy. Joe Biden didn't win the 2020 election. I mean, there's things that I know are real that they keep telling us aren't. I mean, so it's easy for me to jump on and believe everything, but there's no way you can look at this, if you've been studying Joe Biden at all, and tell me that they don't have a body double out there doing some of these stupid interviews. First off, Joe Biden can't walk 1 foot all the way in front of the other. He kind of waddles because he's old and dementia-riddled, and he's had multiple strokes. And you can listen to Joe Biden on stage at any moment because he gets frustrated. He goes, Trump. He don't have these kind of conversations. He can't do it. So I say all that to say this. I think they're going to run a fake Joe Biden out there in that debate. There's no way they've agreed to a 90-minute debate where nobody from the other campaign, nobody from the campaigns can help these people do anything. If they send the real Joe Biden out there, he's gonna short circuit on stage. Johnny 5 alive, and his eyes are gonna close. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want him to go out there and short circuit on stage, and they give him just enough meth to get him about 30 minutes in, and then when Trump starts hitting him with them haymakers. Because, they set this whole thing up. Trump said this the other day. This was supposed to be a red herring. They set this whole thing up thinking Trump was going to say no because they gave him so many rules. And one of them being that nobody's campaign can help them any, talk to them, communicate with them or nothing throughout it. in their minds, it's really Trump that they think needs the help to get through this thing, not Biden. They say it's going to be an empty auditorium. Well, if you knew it was going to be empty, why didn't you book an auditorium? Because you thought he was going to say no. Why wouldn't you just put it in an office somewhere or a bar or a TV studio? You don't have to book some big auditorium. That don't make any sense. Why would you book a big empty auditorium? Because you thought Trump was going to say no. And they thought they were going to be able to get Trump won't debate Biden. Trump won't debate Biden. They thought they were going to get to say that. And then Trump said, I'll be your Huckleberry. Whatever your rules are, your Marxist host, your fake news CNN host, cutting my mic off when the other person's talking, whatever. Let's go. I got you. They're like, oh, crap, he said yes. We don't get to run with convicted felon Trump won't debate Biden. But I will warn conservatives of this. Be careful about setting Joe's bar too low. Because what ends up happening is if he doesn't short circuit, if he doesn't crash and burn, if he just halfway makes any sense, everybody's going to say, oh, look, man, Joe's not nearly as bad as they said he was. Joe's not short circuiting. He doesn't have dementia. I mean, if they can just get just the right amount of time released meth in him to get him through this, we're going to be the ones that look like idiots, kind of like after the State of the Union, which he still did a terrible job, but by the bar we had set, he did a way better job than we anticipated. We need to be careful about doing that. Don't underestimate this crooked, senile person, because again, they may just be sending a body double out there. So one or two things are going to happen, and I'm going to shut up and we're going to go to break. They're either going to send a body double out there, and you'll be able to tell. Let's go pull up all the stuff online. There's two different Joe Bidens, and they've been doing body doubles for the last 30 years with the CIA's mask-making division. This is all factual information. It's available on the internet. Patrick Bet-David interviewed the head mask maker from the CIA. They even created a mask one time of somebody that was in the Bush senior administration. They made it into the Oval Office and had a conversation with George Bush before they were told that it wasn't that person. You don't think they're doing that with presidents? Get the hell out of here. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, here at the top of the next hour, I'm going to dive into this. I've been obsessed with this, so y'all going to have to be slightly obsessed with it also. I'm going to dive into this Daniel Callihan murder case. He's the one that kidnapped the two girls after killing their mother down in Louisiana. Brought one of the girls up here to Mississippi, sexually assaulted and murdered her, or sexually assaulted one or both of them and murdered one of them. It's just tragic, the whole thing. We're going to dive in to this case. I discovered over the weekend that his father was also a convicted murderer, and that case is crazy too. His mother, an addict who had different kind of men in and out of their lives, according to their sister, sold herself for drugs, possibly sold her children for drugs. We're going to dive into it. It's going to tie into Father's Day and the importance of having a good, strong parent, female or male, just a good, strong parent in the home, and how important it is, frankly, to have both parents in the homes. Also, Sean Yerkron, my co-host, just wrote his first article about this very topic over at magnoliatribune.com. Go check that out. We'll be right back. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour two of the most incendiary show on the radio here in Central Mississippi. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. I am live here in the ClayEdwardsShow.com studios. If you can't find the podcast, if you can't find my merch store, if you can't find any of that stuff anywhere else, you can find it at ClayEdwardsShow.com. All the links are posted there. The 5 most recent podcast episodes are always revolving on the homepage there. As soon as you log in, there's links to all of my social media, my shopping, everything available at ClayEdwardsShow.com. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Auto Trim Designs. Are you looking to give your vehicle a makeover that turns heads everywhere you go? Well, look no further than Auto Trim Designs on Highway 80 in Pearl. They're just west of J.D. Byrider there. They've been there for 30 years almost, if not longer. You probably had your windows tinted there by Greg at some point in time. Got pinstripes done. They do it all at Auto Trim Design. They make the custom vinyl stickers too. You know, you want to get your logo put in your back window and all that stuff. They do all that stuff. Look, from sleek, stylish vehicle striping, as well as custom graphics and window tinting, Auto Trim is the place for automotive enhancement. Their expert team uses the latest technology and highest quality materials to ensure your ride stands out from the rest. Services include, but not limited to, installation of industry best window tint from Lumar. Auto Trim uses only the Lumar ATR series metallized window tint. It rivals the competition's ceramic films. Protect your vehicle today with exceptional Expel Unlimited Plus paint protection film. They also offer Stealth Unlimited Plus 7, Unlimited Plus 10, and the Unlimited Plus Black series. With extensive experience in custom graphics and striping of all kinds, Auto Trim can help design something for you, or you can bring your own ideas in. Visit them online today at autotrimdesigns.com and explore the services and see what examples of work that are possible. Auto Trim Designs, where your imagination meets reality. On the road, driving style only with Auto Trim Designs. One more time, autotrimdesigns.com. Shout out to Greg and the team over there at Auto Trim. Again, I've been friends with Greg since our lowrider days back in the early 90s, 91, 92, 93. Sleeves minis, twice as many. We used to go to car shows together, the Waterland, Rapids cruise-ins, all that stuff. Greg has always been a good dude, and glad to have him and the team over at Auto Trim on board here. Good friends. All right, so Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. Mazda Jackson phone line 601-879-0002. I just told you, check out Sean Yerkron's first attempt at being a published crime writer, criminal justice writer, stuff of that nature. He's working with Russ Latino over at Magnolia Tribune. He just published his first article. Just go to magnoliatribune.com, or I just shared it to my Facebook page and my X page. Check it out. Give it a read. Let Sean know what you think. And bookmark Magnolia Tribune and start getting some news from those guys. So I've been slightly obsessed with this Daniel Callihan thing because of just the sheer violence and how sad it is to know that a 4-year-old girl has been violated and murdered. And it all seems so avoidable. I mean, there were red flags everywhere. Everywhere. I've made multiple videos about this. I probably need to apologize to my girlfriend for not giving her more of my attention this weekend, as I was obsessed with this. Same with my family for Father's Day yesterday. But when this is what you do and stuff like this happens, you know, it's hard to ignore it. And here's the sister here. This is Dixie Hemphill. This is Daniel Callihan's sister. My page was the first page to report that she was even talking about this. Kudos to WLBT for getting in touch with her and getting an interview. She had shared a Facebook post that somebody happened to send to me, and she was just very, very beat up and devastated about what her brother had done. And she says they'd been trying to warn the Copiah County. Is it Copiah or Lincoln County? Anyway, one of those sheriff's departments, she'll clarify down here. She'd been trying to warn them that something was going to happen for a couple years now, and nobody would do anything, which in their defense, they can't just lock somebody up because you said they're crazy. I've tried that before. It ain't that easy. So let's listen to Dixie here. And then we're going to play, I don't know if maybe y'all saw it this weekend, maybe you didn't. We're going to play Daniel's Perp Walk, where he blames it all on Lexapro, which you know is an SSRI, which you also know if you listen to the show, I'm convinced it's the devil. Let's go.
I really tried to help him.
Dixie Hemphill says Daniel Callihan is her half-brother. Callihan confessed to reporters Friday after kidnapping 2 Louisiana children, eventually killing the youngest child. He's also accused of killing the girl's mother, Callie Brunette, earlier that week in La Rondre, Louisiana.
I had actually found out earlier that morning, whenever I had got on Facebook, it was the first thing I had seen was that Callie had been murdered and her kids were missing.
After seeing that post, Hemphill recalled a message she received from her brother.
I had received messages off of Callie's Facebook the day prior, that night prior in the middle of the night, saying that it was an emergency, and he called me like 13 times off her messenger. He was asking for like money, but he wanted me to call, not text.
She claims Callie and her brother dated on and off for a few years.
All right, so that answers a big question. You know, how did they know each other? They dated on and off for a couple of years, according to Dixie, his sister.
She decided to call police in Louisiana to report her brother's possible involvement.
I picked up the phone and I called Tangipahoe, and I said I need to speak to the sheriff, nobody else but the sheriff.
Just in case you can't understand it there because she's crying, she called Tangipahoe Parish Sheriff's Department, and she would only speak to the sheriff.
She said, "What for, ma'am?" And I said, "Because I think I know what happened to Callie, and I think I know where her kids are."
Hemphill says she's not surprised by Callahan's actions because her family tried to warn authorities.
All right, pay really close attention here. This is where we're going to really pick up and take a deep dive into this.
I just think that this all could have been prevented if they would have listened to us 2 years ago. Here in Lincoln County, I want that to be known.
Hemphill believes this behavior stemmed from their mother's abuse.
The situation that we grew up with didn't help none of us, honestly. She was man to man, drugs to drugs. We watched men do things to her just because she owed them money.
And listen to this right here.
They did things to us.
That insinuates that they were sexually assaulted by the men in their mother's life.
Look me up in Region 8. Borderline.
This is Daniel Callihan here. Let me cut back just a shade here.
Look me up in Region 8. Borderline multiple personality disorder.
She says her brother was doing what he does best in that moment, being a master manipulator.
He would have slept just fine doing what he did to that baby and her mom and possibly the other baby that he was going to do it to. He would have slept fine. He thought he was going to get away with it.
All right, so let's just play the perp walk, and then I'll get to my opinion. I'm going to try to shut up through this.
I would like to. Unfortunately, on Lexapro, sober, no drugs in my system.
I do not believe, I lied, I'm not going to shut up. I do not believe that he was sober. I do believe the Lexapro makes you evil. And not just Lexapro, the SSRIs in general had the potential to make you evil. I think there's a lot of people out there that take SSRIs that are just fine, normal people. Not everybody that takes an SSRI is a homicidal, suicidal murderer. But every homicide, suicidal murderer seems to be on SSRIs. It's not a coincidence.
I did. Why? Why did you kill the 3-year-old girl? I have no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro. And I'm also diagnosed with borderline with multiple personality disorder. And I have not got to talk to a lawyer. And I'm on suicide watch, but I'm not suicidal. But I think it's the I think it was the side effects of the Lexapro. Did you kill her mom? I'm at Rankin County Jail like a interview.
Do you regret what you did? Do you regret what you did?
I would kill me, and I have told them everything that I did, and I have agreed to not fight it, speedy trial, and the death chamber, whatever it is.
Do you hope for the death penalty?
For what I did, lethal injection is the easiest thing for me.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
No, I'm not pretending to be crazy. Look me up in Region 8. Borderline multiple personality disorder. You better look it up.
So you have
pretend to be crazy.
Okay, yeah.
I'm certified. I was only at the house 2 weeks now.
All right, so he's playing the crazy card. I mean, obviously he's crazy. He's bat crap crazy. And maybe if Sean's listening, he can help us out here. Is there a difference in being crazy and not being able to stand trial for your crimes? Or just you're a crazy suicidal murderer and you deserve to die, and we're going to make sure that happens to you. Him bringing up the multiple personality disorder, I would assume, is laying the groundwork for the defense for an insanity plea or whatever they call it in Mississippi. Because he's going to say, that was my other personality. That wasn't the real me that did that. That was crazy me that did that. That was Lexapro me that did that. I don't care which version of you that did it. It came out your humanly body did it. Daniel did it. Callihan did it. Did unspeakable things. We've uncovered a criminal history of Daniel Callihan. We've also uncovered that the family bloodline is like a bad pit bull. It's one that needs to be put down. From his father to him, and no telling who else. Him and his sister have different dads. Shocker. When we come back from the break, we're going to play the news story out of Baton Rouge that details what his father did to a lady in 1990. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, the segment brought to you by Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. Get over there to the Flowood location right now. This morning until 10:30, they got fresh breakfast being served daily, Monday through Saturday to 10:30. Get the fried chicken and waffles. I fell all the way off my carb diet this weekend, and I might as well finish it off today with some fried chicken and waffles instead of going to the gym. So if you'll see me in Burgers, Blues, about 10:30 this morning, mind your business. Mind your business. It's a $4 draft beer, $4 mimosas. I'm sorry, $1 off draft beer, $4 mimosas, $4 Bloody Marys also for that third shift happy hour for folks getting off down at the hospitals. Mind your business. Anyway, get over there for lunch and dinner as well. You know, they got 3 great locations to serve you. Main Street in Madison, the all-new, really super cool, probably the gem of the bunch, the Flowood location there in Dogwood, directly in front of Dick's Sporting Goods, right there on Lakeland. And, of course, the cool location that I frequent the most, downtown Brandon. It's a block from my house. I love it. Huge patio, great for parties. They got your catering covered from 5 to 5,000 people. They got multiple food trucks they can send out for your special events. Figure it all out online. Try one of their award-winning burgers. The Smash Burger is back. Try it. It's great. BurgersBlues.com. Let's take a call here on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. I've left a caller on hold for quite a while now. Hey, my apologies. You're on there.
Yeah, no, you're all right, man. I just got 2 things for you real quick. First one was earlier about the debate with Biden and Trump. You know, all somebody got to do is just show up with an ice cream truck and throw Biden off.
True.
And then
tapioca.
On that subject with this pedophile guy, I don't know, man. Some people, I think it's just natural. They're just naturally evil.
Yep.
Their soul, no matter what they go through, is they're just going to end up being that person no matter what, you know. And shit like that, that's just an excuse to try to play down his actions, you know, try to get away with the shit. But hell, I hope they don't fall for it, because folks like that, and it's getting old, man. It's time to start putting these folks in the ground.
I agree, brother. Have a blessed day.
Well, you too, man.
Peace. Yeah, man. Just got to start peeling some cats back. I'm conflicted, though, you know, how I want this guy's cap to get peeled back. I mean, not that anybody cares what Clay Edwards has to say when it comes to this. Somebody got a text on the Guns of Your text line. Somebody said, just put him in Gen Pop. You know, I used to agree with that. But, man, there's so many pedophiles in prison now. Yeah, I don't think pedophiles get the treatment they used to in prison. I just don't. People say, oh, man, you know, folks in prison will take care of him. Will they? Will they? I don't know if I believe that anymore. This guy kind of got some Charles Manson vibe about him. He'd probably get up in prison and start a cult. I mean, really, he's got them crazy eyes. All right, so here's a crazy story. And I just want to put all this out there, man. Frankly, I'm kind of proud of the work I put in, and also want to make a great point about the fathers being in the homes, a strong mother being in the home. Both parts are equally important. Coming off of Father's Day, I want to show you what can happen when you get a bad bloodline with bad parenting. Let's see here. This is from WBRZ. Make sure I'm telling you that right. Yeah, WBRZ out of Baton Rouge. This is about 3.5 minutes long. This is about Kelly Wayne Drott. He is the father of Daniel Callihan. This is a crazy story. You're not going to believe some of the details of this.
Here's the investigative unit has been looking into the criminal history of Cox, Callihan, and their relatives. And we're going to take you back to 1990. A man named Kelly Drott killed 18-year-old Rebecca Forbes and dumped her body into the Tangipahoa River.
Drott is Daniel Callahan's father. He took his own life after escaping from prison, kidnapping a teenager and shooting another woman. News 2's Bess Casterly spoke with Rebecca Forbes' mother about this bad bloodline.
Sylvia, Michael, when it comes to this troubled family history, it appears the bad apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
And she said, Mom, I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but I'm hearing that the guy that kidnapped those two little children is the son of Kelly Wayne Drott. And it brought it all back.
Friday morning, Virginia Freeman was jolted back to the worst time of her life nearly 25 years ago.
She was going in the Navy.
News of Daniel Callahan's arrest for the murder of Kelly Brunette and her 4-year-old daughter brought everything back up.
She was going to graduate in May
when she discovered he's the son of the man who killed her daughter, Rebecca.
Rebecca Forbes was reported missing April 29th after she didn't return home from a day at the Italian festival in Independence, Louisiana. The next night, Forbes' blood-stained shirt was found on this road about a mile east of Amite, Louisiana. That was the beginning of a 3-week search by law enforcement officials from 4 agencies. An ordeal that had the Forbes family in turmoil. Authorities asked for home videos of the festival, hoping to spot Forbes in the crowd. Officials say they received about 5 videos and talked with many people.
Over this 3-week period, our detectives have questioned many suspects.
That suspect is 23-year-old Kelly Wayne Drott, an Amite resident. Authorities say they found blood and hair samples and other evidence in his car linking him to the incident. Officials believe Drott and Forbes left the festival together. They say Drott drove to this location and allegedly beat Forbes to death, stuffed her body into the trunk of his car, and threw her off the Tangipahoa River Bridge.
She had been in the river for 3 weeks on a sand pile. And they were lucky enough to find, which there wasn't very much of her left.
Drott confessed to killing her, but always claimed it was an accident. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was given a 25-year sentence. However, he escaped his New Orleans prison and went on the run with another woman, who he later shot. During his time on the lam, he kidnapped a teenage girl and later shot himself to death.
I would describe him as a very disturbed, probably had a very bad childhood.
Callahan was only a toddler at the time, and it's unclear what his relationship with his father was, but he did not take his last name. The crimes he's accused of are eerily similar to his father's.
Did he grow up knowing that his daddy was a killer and then he turned out to be one too? You know, how can that be?
Freeman says, though it happened in 1990, it still feels like yesterday, even more so now that this has happened.
I have forgiven him, but I haven't forgotten. And it was very hard. Still is.
Both the woman Drott shot and kidnapped during his time on the run survived that ordeal. Callahan is a native of Independence, but according to his arrest documents, his most recent address is listed as homeless in Brandon, Mississippi.
Now, he's not homeless in Brandon anymore. He's got a home there at in the Rankin County Jail that so many of you seem to have such a big problem with out there. You know, they chose to put him in the Rankin County jail, not the Hinds County, where he committed the crime. I wonder why. Oh, is it because they know they can't protect him in Hinds County? I'm just guessing. And this ain't, again, this is not a shot at the the people running, the administration out there at Hinds County. They inherited a disaster in that jail. So I'm not talking about Tyree and Sean and that crew out there running that place. It's just a hellhole, and they're handcuffed to it figuratively and literally. Anyway, so yeah, he's getting him 3 hots and a cot, and probably getting his Lexapro and everything else out there. It's amazing what a bath can do for somebody. They got that photo of those deputies, those U.S. Marshals, remember the Tangipahoa deputies dragging him out of the ditch over there in South Jackson. And, I mean, he looks like he'd been up for 7 or 8 days, strung out on dope, and then less than 24 hours later, he looks like a brand new man. Done washed his hair. I'd have made him stay dirty. Made him stay dirty, thrown him in the hole. But, we can't do that no more. Can't do that no more. All the goon squad stuff, the feds is watching. You got to baby these criminals, get them their little manicures and pedicures, and take care of them. See, this is the part where I really hate, and this is why I never talked about the goon squad stuff until it was after the fact. Until the guilty pleas came in, until the verdicts came in, until the sentencing. We were very methodical about the way we handled that. And it's why I just don't jump headfirst into every new story that comes out about it. Because I'm just kind of tired of ripping the Band-Aid off about it. Every time something new comes out, it's like, really, there's only one thing left to happen when it comes to that. And when that happens or doesn't happen, that'll be the story. Everything else that those guys did, at this point, they're in prison. I don't know if they're going to go, is there going to be more cases? I doubt it. Anyway, I digress. Every now and then, you need cops that can make bad guys not come out of them woods. I'll just say that. But so much going on. I guess you need somebody. You need them alive to tell you the things he's done. In case there's other victims out there. Mansplain texted in on the Guns and Gear text line and asked, did we ever figure out why he was at that house in South Jackson? To answer that question, I think there's a drug tie. This is kind of taken, the street committee has spoken somewhat. There's some squatters that have been posted up over there, according to multiple sources, in multiple houses up and down Boozer Drive there. There's some squatters that have been posted up there. He possibly, in that drug world, I mean, they arrested a girl with him too over at the Oyo Hotel over at Savannah. So it wouldn't surprise me a bit knowing that area like I do, that somebody that was up and down that road selling some dope or something. There were some rumors of human trafficking going on there. And then that kind of got somewhat debunked when when we realized that the animal cages that were there are because it used to be a pet store of some strange sort on Boozer Drive. I know that exists on Google Maps, but first off, it would be illegal to run a pet store at a house in a residential area. So maybe it was just somebody that sold snakes at their houses or something. So they're trying to explain away the cages by saying it was a pet store. I don't know where I stand on that. You just raped and killed a 4-year-old girl there at that house. Sorry if I don't believe you when you try to tell me that the cages weren't for humans. Let's take a call real quick on the Mazda Jackson phone line before we go to break. Hey, you're on there. You got about a minute.
Good morning, Clay. This is Buddy.
Buddy, let's do this. Can you stay? Can you stay on hold?
Yeah, but
I want to give you more time. Let me come straight back to you after the break. Let's do that.
All right, that's fine.
All right, hang on, Buddy. We got Buddy on the line. As soon as I come back, I want to hear Buddy's thoughts because I know they're going to be intense. We'll be right back. rules when necessary. I had a motivational quote I put on my Facebook page today that I made out of my breaking rules when necessary. And it says this: achieving great results sometimes requires breaking the rules. That's a Clay Edwards original. I have a meme generator on my computer. It's AI. It generates stuff for you. I put in breaking rules when necessary. Create motivational quote, and that's what it gave me. Let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line and get some motivational Monday quotes from Mr. Buddy. Buddy, thanks for staying on hold, brother.
Yeah, good morning again. I tell you what, I have followed this case, and he's working up a crazy defense.
100%.
That's the whole thing. And I firmly believe, here's where some people don't think I'm crazy, there is demon possession in this world.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it is tied in with drugs, and I feel like this guy is just the epitome of evil. Now, you know a little of my background. I've been a hard man in my life, have done things that gag a maggot, but I could never hurt a child. I can't hurt a woman. I can't hurt an animal. And this guy, let me just say, put this out there to the state of Mississippi. If you decide to execute him, I'll pay $10,000 to push the plunger.
It looks like, according to Sean, he thinks Louisiana's gonna take the charge on this thing. So we'll see.
Well, I'll offer the same thing to Louisiana. I'll be glad to pay $10,000 to push the plunger because I want to push it slow.
I want to watch.
Look, if this is a product of starting back in the 60s, the flower generation, if it feels good, do it. I'm okay, you're okay. And pharmaceuticals. And these doctors are cramming stuff in people's heads that make them conscious of this. Also, his sister's building it up, he was abused. Will you tell me any family who has Ozzie and Harriet or Leave It to Beaver? I mean, I had wonderful, good parents, but times weren't always good with us. I can remember being really poor and having hard times. I went to work on a public job at 12 years old. And I'm not blaming it on my childhood. I mean, suck it up, grow it up, and forget about it and move on. But this guy, just tell you the truth, I'd like to have him for 3 days in a room with a pass-load nail gun and a straight razor. I could straighten him out, and he might repent before he meets the devil. We need to look around. Everybody does. I have a significant other who says that I'm paranoid. Every place we go, I'm watching. If I go with my grandchildren, I watch them like a hawk, and if anybody gets close to them, I insert myself between me and them. The world is turning evil progressively. And if you get a chance, listen to Paul Harvey deal from back in the 60s, If I Were the Devil. This line's right up with it. And
it does. I've played it a bunch of times on here.
People need to wake up. We need to take back the vote and take back the penal system about 50 years, where if you do something like this, you get a good, fair trial and then a speedy hanging. And I'm blaming these psychiatric doctors, and everything is pop a pill and turn them loose. And these people people like him need to be caged somewhere. And in this case, I'm on Lincoln County law enforcement. I'm going to blame them in a little bit, because if they were notified, of course, they're hamstrung by the Supreme Court as to what they can do. There's a limit. I mean, a guy's actually got to do something before they lock him up. But this guy's the epitome of evil. I mean, and we got to start confronting it, and we got to call it what it is. And you wait how the press is going to modelly coddle him and say, Oh, poor baby. You know, his daddy, his mama, his first cousin abused him. Well, you know, I've been knocked around, and I wasn't perfect with my kids. I thought about it yesterday. I was a failure as a dad, but they turned out all right in spite of me. That, to my knowledge, they've never hurt anybody except in a fair fight. None of them has molested anybody, and none of them's crawled up on a building and shot anybody. I just, the world ain't going to hell, Clay. It already has.
100%.
I'm 75 years old, and I have seen a change that had I went to sleep at 21 and woke up now, it would scare the living hell out of me.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
No, man, you'd be surprised what a pass-load nail gun with a 10-penny nail in the knee will do to a guy. And I know that sounds cruel. You tell me what this guy deserves. Be honest. What does he deserve?
Well, one of our texters had a good idea. Said, bury him in the ground with only his head above dirt, and let's see what happens.
Well, and I want to say something about the text line. Folks, I love the text line. I love when he reads your text. But, you know, I'd like to hear you mouth sometime. I'd like to hear your passion and your inflection. I'd like to hear a whole lot more people calling in, because Clay's got one of the best shows going. I put it, WYAB has got the best host. I'd put them up against any national personality. But we need to get on the line and call. That's what fuels a talk show, not a text show.
Yeah, we kind of created a monster with the text line because it does make it easy, and I don't disagree with you. I think I've often thought about pulling it back a little bit and trying to force people to call a little bit. I do want to get people's opinions. The number one thing people tell me, buddy, when I'm out and about is, man, you say the things that I wish I could say. You can say them. We give you the anonymity of the phone line to call and say them, but people need to hear your voices.
Let me say something on that, Clay. Everything I say, I mean.
100%.
People know who I am, and I will back it up, and you know you're free to give somebody my phone number. Anonymity is great, but I hate anonymous callers. You know, the bravest two people in the world is a man behind the window of a car going 60 miles an hour or one over the phone. You know, I'm like this. Anything I say, if a guy wants to meet me out someplace, we talk about him. We can talk friendly, or we can go like two mules kicking. Don't matter. But people, you need to start calling. And tell you what, politicians, judges, pay attention to talk radio. And WYAB is the best talk radio station that I have heard any place, and I get out and travel some. And we need to make our voices rattle and make them loud, and it'll scare these politicians and these judges into doing the right thing. You know, put your big boy panties on and call and get loud, get mean. Clay, I enjoy you. You're a good man, and I still want to meet for lunch sometime. And look, keep giving them hell.
Same to you, buddy. Thank you, brother. Great call there from Mr. Buddy. Yeah, guys, I do wish y'all would call more. And the Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Talk radio is better when good callers call. Otherwise, you just get people like Clay Edwards talking in circles sometimes. And look, bad callers are good. You know, we cut some of the nonsense off with guys like Thomas calling in and whatnot. I don't want to just sit here and argue with folks all day. But I do love y'all's opinions. You don't have to always agree with what we say either. Alternative points of view are accepted unless you want to make some excuses for this guy. I want to say something about what Buddy just said there about things that happen to somebody not being justification for them doing these type things. I agree 100%. I hope when I was talking about his father not being in the home and being from a tainted bloodline and his mother doing things, I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but I do believe, I guess I'm going to contradict myself a bit here. I do believe that people are products of their environment. And if you grew up in that type of environment, you're so susceptible to becoming a part of that environment and to doing those things and to not even understanding right and wrong because you saw nobody get anything done to them for doing those things to you. So how are you to know necessarily that the things you're doing are wrong? Now, we all know murder's wrong. I'm not talking about the way this guy's story ended, but I'm talking about an escalation. We'll just call it, for the sake of a better word, lack of a better word, escalation of immorality to get to that point. Never any consequences. I mean, his arrest record, I think he's been arrested twice, just miscellaneous nonsense. Spent a little time in jail for a burglary or something. No. But so I do believe that people are a product of their environment. I told you all about that documentary earlier, American Nightmare, and it involves women being sexually assaulted and kids that were sexually assaulted. And it says those same people that get sexually assaulted as kids, sometimes, and I'd never heard this, sometimes they like to recreate being sexually assaulted, but with them having control of the situation. And that's from the FBI. So anyway, who knows? Maybe that has nothing to do with it. He's obviously got some mental problems. He is insane, but I don't think that's a defense to keep him from being killed for the things he did to that baby girl, potentially to her sister and to her mother. And something just tells me this ain't his first rodeo. Let's take a break. Come back, land the plane for the day. Coming up next, you got the Chip Matthews Show. Stay tuned for that, top of the hour. We'll be right back to close the show for the day. Been a fun show today, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, as always. Enjoyed it. I see Ashton Pittman and the Rainbow Supremacy are here on X spreading lies about Donald Trump again, saying that he called all immigrants animals. He called illegal immigrants, murderers, animals. But they love editing stuff out. They love to tell you, don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your lying ears. Shut up, bigot, racist, homophobe, transphobe, insurrectionist. Do as we say. 2 + 2 = 5 in the liberal matrix, in the Rainbow Supremacy. Been a fun show today. The podcast will be available here shortly. Suit up and boot up. You're going to have to before it's all said and done. They're getting ready to draft your kids into a war that we don't want to fight. We'll talk about that and more tomorrow. Coming up next, it's the Chip Matthews Experience. Stay tuned till 10 o'clock. After that, you got Jameson Haygood, followed by Kim Wade, 4 to 6. Peace.